so absolutely we have 7th house confirming 3rd house. Let's see what else we can confirm. I mean, if we have Virgo heavily with that World and the 4 of Pentacles, yes. Because we have Virgo energy here. And we have Mercury Magician also ruling Virgo, yes. As much the Hermit as the Magician. Five of Swords, 9 of Swords. Leo opposing Aquarius. Okay, so we want some more clarification on that 5th house then. But really, that 4th house is kind of like the sleeping giant in all of this, of knowing where you're going. Knowing what your destiny is. Somebody knows that they know that what you don't know. Of course they know what you don't know. But they are leading you there. That 3 of Pentacles. Queen of Wands. So now possibly a marriage. The 10 of Wands, almost home. But the male and the female, I mean, and all respect to they, all respect to non-binary. The cards as they are. Okay, so anything else for 7th house? Okay, there's that 10 of Pentacles. Now, the good news is it's not in reverse. Look, it's double the 5. And it's in the house of you and others. Full Capricorn energy, full 10th house energy. So your Magician and your stability at home, your whole earthly success. I mean, the opposite of the 5, right? But you need to get through the 5 to get to the 10. Everybody does. And that's in a very unfair world where a lot of people only get to die and suffer and be slave traded and trafficked and tortured. So, if we're comfortable enough here, and I know there are homeless people that watch this. I know a lot of people online are homeless. And I mean this reading no less for them than anybody. For you, if you are homeless. So the question is, especially now after a year and a half of lockdown and total economic reform that they've been planning for so long. Send people that work us with these symbols. However, there is the deeper magic. The deeper magic is what I want to emphasize right now. Okay. Had some powerful stuff going on in the 7th. So let's get to your own house, Scorpio. Well, we still have some cards left. Alright, what's going on in house number 8? The all-seeing eye. Do we want to talk about sex? Do we want to talk about other people's energy and what it does to you? Do we want to talk about other people's energy and what it does to you? Okay, so a 5 that's stuck between happiness and unhappiness. Fair enough. Fair enough. Now we do have This is where we look to where Mars and Jupiter are, right? Not Jupiter. Oh, here we go. Well, Jupiter, yes. Jupiter's very happy. Very happy planet. So sure. And we know that it's in your first house. So we could say, excuse me, we could say that you actually do have, you actually are potentially very happy, possibly, in yourself. Now, what did we had it this way, right? Because it is there. Now, it's closer to being unhappy than happy, right? And here we have the Magician echoed. This is like the ultimate magician pose. But in terms of happiness, in terms of Jupiter being happiness, and we have unhappiness here. And then we have this, you know, stuck on, well, what would make you happy? What would be good? We have this forced change of perspective. So then, if we go to where Pluto is, yes. Well, okay, first we have Mars again in, where the hell did I put it? In your second house. Okay. Right, so your loves and loyalties. Your loves and loyalties. And your magnetisms. And then where did we have, so in your second house. And there's possibly like a marriage. There's possibly a deep commitment there. And we have Pluto in your fourth. So Scorpio energy is divided between second and fourth. We have those 3 cups repeated in that 4 of cups that's in progress. Second house repeated. That beginning. We have 10th house right here. 10th house, I mean, well, yeah, but 10 of Pentacles, which would be 10th house. 10 of Pentacles, completion. With the Ace of Pentacles. We do have it in the 7th. With this other. So the question is. The question is what? It's the other. Queen of Swords reversed. Aquarius. So that's taking us back to that 9 of Swords. And the Tower. Knowing where you're going. And what other people's energy does to you. Like those 10 of Wands. And that instability in your 4th house. Yes. If there's so much going on. Like you, this is your own energy. This is Scorpio energy. Necessary change in Scorpio. 5, 6, 7 of Cups. Let's just check those 9 swords again. Now we do have Aquarius, right? And her co-ruler, Saturn, is in reverse. So there could be just a lot of fear. And that's in your 6th, yeah. There's just a not knowing where you're going. And this is the 5th house. This is right where Venus is. So you're so close to God right now. And you don't necessarily even know it, but maybe you do. And we have that 5 there. We have that 5 with the 9 swords. Right? The changing of the situations. The changing of, which is absolutely the changing of the situations here. Who you are. Mastermind. Any other card? That 2 of Pentacles. What will make you happy? You don't know what will make you happy. You don't know, you don't know. Because you lost too much? It's one thing to be able to make yourself happy. Yeah. Pisces energy repeating. 12th house energy repeating. The King of Cups for me, Pisces. 12th house. King of Cups, Queen of Cups, they wear every crown because they can be every sign. Pisces can be every sign, can take on the characteristics, can take on the worries, the feelings, the mindset of every sign and every house. I have come to learn this the hard way. Not by experience per se, but intentional experience, you know. Especially if the month that I spent in Pisces house for my astrology workbook, I do have a Pisces Mercury and I have a Pisces South Node. And I have Neptune in my 12th house. And I've had many Pisces in my life. My immediate family and my relationships. So, but even so, what I learned by studying it with spiritual guidance is different again from what I anticipated. So everything needs to be extremely organized and maintained for Pisces work. For Pisces life, in order for it all not to fall apart, because there's just so much to it. There's so much to it. There just has to be regulation. There has to be. I think this is why it all gets flipped around. It pretends to be well organized. The crime is well organized, but even then they're cutting each other's throats and they're cutting everybody else's throats at the same time. So it's not happy organization. So Pisces needs happy organization. There has to be extreme balance, but coordinated balance. So what was I saying about there's so much coordination going on in your chart right now? And here is this Pisces energy in your own house. So here we have the king that's ruled by Neptune and Jupiter. So that first house, it takes us right back to that first house, right? Because there we have Jupiter and there we have Pisces, Neptune, right? Like right off the hop. And then we have the Cancerian energy where there's that imbalance. And the second house energy, and here we have that echoed. And basically we even know enough just from this card that we're stuck, you know, the question is being stuck between, about letting go, about figuring out, not even letting go, but what to hang on to and what to let go, like all of it, yeah? What is this necessary change? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What are the decisions that come with it? So 1st and 8th. Which means that there's a rebirth of self. and it's charted. Now that might seem like an oversimplification, but again, we know everything that's happening in your 4th house. So let's go to that Queen of Wands house. Let's go to 9th, Sagittarius. Temperance, of course, protection, but faith, truth, healing, long journeys. Gemini would be short journeys. I forget that. But here we have Jupiter's house. Empathy, energy, 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on ground. So, you know, psychic thinking. I don't use the word intuitive too often because it's a non-word. But you have that 10 of Wands energy and that Queen energy. What did I say about, let's see where the 10th house energy is. Well, we're not at 10th house yet, but we're getting there. Okay, so with 8 of Pentacles, going back to that 7 of Pentacles of transformation, but it's in progress, but it's got a bit of a ways to go. Now, why? Because it looked like you know exactly what you believe. There's a conflict between what you know in your 2nd house and what you know in your 9th house. They're not in total agreement with each other, so far as I can tell. 2 8s, 8 8. Okay, is there a timing of August 8th? I would say, if we look at what's happening in Leo season, in Leo's house, if we look at this as timing, because so much of it is timing, yeah, look where we have those 9 swords and the 5 swords, right? And where's she working? She's working in Leo. She's working in your 5th house. And here we have 8 8, right? August 8th. Peak day for Lionsgate. So that could be a deadline. It could be a deadline. Proving yourself to yourself. Going back to transformations. Transformation, again, that necessary change, but the 7 of transformation is, and that 7 is in reverse because we have that safe passage. But proving yourself to yourself, proving yourself to yourself. So basically the prep work, the being ready. Again, all that Virgo energy of, now this would actually be 11th house for me and 10th house energy. So the ability to network and to have your product ready, to have your things ready, that she can do what she needs to do with them, right? Like, what did I say about coordinating? Yeah, again, just coordinating. Like, she's coordinating your end of things and your audience's end of things. Like, either your clients or your employer or the relationship. Yes. If this is all to do with a relationship, now we do have relationship emphasized here with the Knight of Swords. In the same direction. This is for me Libra energy, so again we're echoing what's going on in the 7th house, what's going on with the 6 of Swords, the 5 of Swords, and the 7 of Swords. Now, as it affects your faith, as it affects journeys, philosophy, there's something about keeping the faith here. Sagittarius is directly across Gemini. And there we have your North Node and your safe passage, yes. Yep. So there's where that Knight of Wands energy is, right directly across from Sagittarius in Gemini. Meanwhile, your magnetisms and polarities, your 10 of Wands, your Sagittarius energy, is partly in second house and first house with Jupiter there. But the Ten of Wands there, the completion, and the Seven of Wands, Leo energy. But let's focus on Ten of Wands, Seven of Wands, how did I get? Three of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. The plan, knowing where you're going. This knight's not sure where he's rushing off to. Right? Again, that Tower. And the Wheel. And the Wheel. Knowing where you're going, the long journey. What is the long journey? What is the destination? We're not sure. You haven't been able to set one. You know, sometimes you know exactly what target to set, and you have not had a target to set because so much has happened, or there's so much to do, and there's so many targets. Is that what it is? So now we're in 10th house, career energy, reputation energy, Capricorn. For me, the 8, 9, and 10 of Pentacles. We have 10 of Pentacles, we have 8 of Pentacles, we have 9 of Pentacles. Do we not? Or did she just slap out? I'm trying to remember if she actually showed up. Well, okay. Hitting the ground again, just like in Virgo. Okay. Yeah, the Wounded Warrior. Proving yourself to everyone. This is actually the card of the... I don't associate too many cards with too many people. But, this one is definitely... This one is what the card that brought me into cards. Slowly. But somebody advocated for me. One of my professional guides advocated for me in a situation, in a life situation, that needed a supernatural intervention, shall we say, to scare the shit out of a person. And so the 9 of Clubs, it was a regular playing card, did that for me, showing up where nobody would expect it to show up at exactly the right time. You know, those things that happen. And so for me, I associate this with a professional guide, if that means anything, because we are in the house of profession. Now, to be down, this can be, again, Minnow Pond Tarot has been so helpful this week, on point with, I try to float so that I don't I support, but I try not to weigh my energy in too heavily. I seem to have energy that really tips the scales, and I don't want that. So because then I don't even know if they're just reading off my energy, or, you know, if it's a bona fide, you know, not to question anybody else at all, just knowing how it can work. So out of respect for people, out of respect for readers, I tend to keep a distance fairly regularly. But he was talking about the Wounded Warrior. He's like, well, you can either let everybody know you're wounded, or you can carry on being a warrior. Right? And I thought that was an excellent point. And that was in a reading for Scorpio. So chances are good. You've seen it. Alright, so here we have slowly sort of sliding out the 7 of Pentacles. We're stuck. We're stuck progressing. We're stuck transforming. And I want to say we're stuck between the 6 and the 8. We already have the 8. We have 8, 8. So we have the timing. We have the timing. We have Queen and King of Wands energy here, not knowing the destination. It's hard to know. It's hard to take stock if you don't know where you're going. And if you're so spiritually guided and you have to rely on where they're taking you and you have to let go of the destination. So here we have that angle that just, okay, right. Pisces again. 12th again. Not knowing, you know, extremely intuitive, not intuitive, I don't like that word, what did I just say? Extremely psychic, extremely in touch with all the signs. Okay, I think the camera cut out before I said it. So this is all temporary energy, this is all floating energy, shall we say. It is nothing charted, so it's all depending on other aspects of the chart. Let's just say, and we have 3 converging points here, or diverging points. So the coordination. So we have the issue of basically destiny, the Jupiter Neptune energy, so the Hanged Man, the Wheel of Fortune energy, but the Muse, the Prophet energy, the biggest picture possible energy, the all or nothing energy. And then we have the day-to-day energy, right? And then we have the desire energy. We don't have swords here. We don't have swords here. So let's just see. Now the fact that we have Capricorn's ruler Saturn with the World in reverse, right? With the Page of Pentacles reversed and the Knight of Pentacles reversed. Okay? And here we have the 7 stuck because the page. And so we have, what was I saying about if it took your childhood and it took your young adulthood in order to go through cycles of the wheel in order to get here, right? And then it took a while to become that. Yeah, okay. Now we have swords here. Again, so the Tower energy, the Queen of Swords, right? That was in reverse. Okay. It's going to take a bit. But the 9 of Swords energy. And that 8 of Swords energy. Right? Right there in... Now, what did I say in the 9th house about the long trajectory? Knowing what the overall plan is. And Uranus has been keeping it from you. You probably got a lot, if you've got a lot of plates in there, you have an idea, but there's like so many of them. So, the career is, the career just has a lot of question marks around it. A lot of question marks around it. The success, I want to say, the reputation. The reputation has a lot of, again, with that world upside down, the reputation and the calculated risks that's what Saturn brings. Fears, calculated risks, boundaries, making sure your boundaries are what they need to be, right? But then, are they, like worrying about the boundaries if you've cut yourself off from things. And especially with Scorpio, when we have to cut so many people out of our lives, sometimes everybody. How do you network when you have nobody in your life? Now, I do have clients in my life, and I have my son in my life, and I do look after my dad. And I do have a best friend, but again, there are, shall we say, there's a time and place, and there's extreme caution and care. I'm in a deep situation right now of being very protective and careful in some potentially life and death situations with the gang stalkers and the murderers that I deal with over the last 6 years through the UK, the US, and Canada. So I've been advised to not engage with them right now. And it's been maybe about 7, 8, 9 months of they took down my one account after I linked one too many murders together. And so I just don't want anybody else to get hurt on my account. So it can be like that. Let's go to your 11th house, as I have the star out here. And actually, maybe I'll put the link in here. Speaking of danger, this star, and if you think of the Statue of Liberty, if you want the full lesson, it doesn't just go back to Babylonia. It goes back through Asherah, goes back through her, and we're going to take it all the way back to basically West Africa, is what we're going to do. Which, you know, in the end, it just isn't that surprising. The guy who spoke about all this on behalf of Mama Zogbe, he got involved so that the guys would have, you know, some pressure on them to listen to another guy. So 8 years ago, there are videos on YouTube from 8 years ago, 7 years ago, where he is explaining all of this in slide presentations, and actually giving even more information about the Masons than I still didn't have, even after 6, 7 years of fighting with them. And the fact of what the square is actually, the square and compass, the square is actually a 7. And the compass is the goddess, the mother, great mother's legs. The G spot, the G is the G spot, yes. And you can laugh, but then what they did was they put him, within a year of that, they put him up on, they set him up in a drug situation. Took him into prison for drugs, and then just happened to kill off his inmate with a drug overdose the first day that he's in prison. And then so they pinned a murder charge on him as well. So I've got his 2018 appeal on justia.org. I'm reading through that, and his side of it details exactly how much they fudged everything up to stitch him up, to put him inside basically for the rest of his life and take him out of the game. Yeah. But that's where this card sends us, and it's all about what you know. Again, if we go back to the 3rd house, the truth, the ethics card. What is the truth? And what you do with the truth. And here we have Uranus and Saturn's house, Saturn co-ruling this with Uranus. So that tower, right? But those swords, the 10 of swords, the 9 of swords, the 8 of swords, we've got them all on the table already, plus that tower. So I have a feeling that this house is very pivotal. I don't know what will... Okay, yes. So, this is where you're going. This is where you're going, okay? The Queen is looking out from 2nd house, right? The investment house. And here the King is looking back from the 11th house. So there's something to do with revolution. There's something to do with technology. There's something to do with being extremely nonconformist. Again, if we look at Virgo and the systems and the invention of things, like the problem solving, the preparation work of, well, again, but the systems, the routines. So there could be something that you've created, and it's going to get implemented here. And then the question is how to connect with people. And that's why Venus, that's why the Great Mother is working on it with you and coordinating everything. This is where we're ending up. Okay. Get some certainty here. Again, now Aquarius is directly opposite Leo, and that's exactly where Venus is with your 5 of Swords, right? Building up your audience. So there's creative energy, of course, but here we have the long journey. Here we have the answer to, the question was, where's it all going? The answer is here, 11th house. Now, I mean, every house matters, but look at you stuck here, Scorpio. And there's a lot. For me, the 7 of Cups. Okay, so transformation, but it also is, in Scorpio terms, and this can apply to anybody, but actually taking care of all 7 cups, actually answering to that, you know, even more than that many spirit guides, but being that many kinds of people in the world. But they will converge here in the 11th. And why the 11th and not the 12th? There's something Uranus related to it. It's specific to Uranus. It's specific to what Uranus rules. So it's specific to technology or revolution, to air energy. Therefore, working through the mind more than through the feelings. Solving problems, like solving systems of things. Like I know Virgo does the solving, the implementation, right? So there's something about the way people do things, the way people learn things, right? Because it's what you do with what you know, but it can go back to how people learn in the third house, right? Because it's connected to third house, it's connected to learning, right? And so there's something to do with, if we look at that Hierophant in the second house, yes, and the teaching and the student, I want to say that it's connected to that. But there are multiple things. Multiple things. So you wear many hats. And that's why, just like with the King and Queen of Cups, yes? In your own energy. So you're going to bring King and Queen of Cups, yes. King of Wands is, oh, look, the truth there. Truth is right there. We have Ten of Swords in the King of Wands house. And now we have Ace of Wands with the Ace of Swords with the King of Wands. So God's truth, Gemini energy right across. This is exactly what I'm saying. They're just saying, yep. Okay. Absolutely, the finger of God here. If this gives you any certainty, Scorpio, the emphasis is on there is a creative element to this, of course, but the most, to the floor, slightly on an angle but nearly upright, is your King of Pentacles. What more is there to say? Full career energy here. Full career energy here. Landlord status, so having all of your property, having, you know, what did we say about the Ten of Pentacles? Let's just back it up. Right there, in progress, in your 7th. So with others, yes, with others and the Magician, all that power that you have to negotiate, because she's coordinating everything. And then that Knight and that Page of Pentacles and that World with that Four of Pentacles, yes, in Virgo. So all the work that you've done, in building to apply in the 11th. It's specific to 11th house innovations. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. In case the camera cut me off, that's what you're into here. You're into how people learn. So teaching them or helping them with ways for them to learn. There's innovation here. With that North Node in your 3rd. And people, just people. Like Aquarius is such a bigger picture humanitarian, you know, wanting to look after a lot of people at the risk of losing close relationships. Yes. Same with Gemini. Yeah, no, Nine of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles are still in the deck. Okay, so let's look at your 12th house. This is a day later. Because this has been quite the read, Scorpio. Okay, I'm not sure what's left to say in 12th house that we haven't said in all the other houses, but they are. Wow. Okay, first house energy. in progress, this decision, this let's see. We only have so many cards left, but I like how I love how the game plays out. The tarot game plays out this way, using all the cards in all the right ways. The house of everything being organized. The house that needs everything to be shipshape. Wow, just nothing. Well, that's kind of what I thought, though. That's kind of what I... Okay, slapping out, we have a 2 of Cups. Well, okay, that's stability. Let's just see if we have an affirmation for that. 2 and 2, 11, 11. Self-dependent on other. There's the other. Healing. Healing. No. Really, just nothing else. That's kind of beautiful. Look at that. Nothing else, eh? Sometimes they make me. I really feel like there isn't. One more go. Oh, okay. Because I threatened to stop. Is that what it is? Stuck energy. Ooh, Aquarius, 11th house energy, stuck. Yes, that King of Swords. Well, absolutely. 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 Okay. Yep. I mean, all that Pisces energy in your first house. And that Ace of Cups reversed. Yes. The healing. The healing required. And that forced change of perspective. And again, the 2 of Pentacles. So 2, 2, 2. I think all the 2s, right? Yep. All the 2s are in here. Yeah, it's taking us right back to 11th house. And knowing, exactly. Knowing where to go. Knowing where to go. That's what's in progress. You know, which way? Which way? That's it. That's all that there is. Anything they want me to say? In addition. Well, we have the Moon card for Pisces. I mean, it rules Cancer. But the path. And thanks again to Minnow Pond for pointing it out in Scorpio readings. just this past week. The path, we're on the path, and you stay to the path that you're on and follow it through. The safe passage card for me again, just like the Six of Swords. The moon lights the way. Intuition, yes. This is my happy card. And I mean, I love the sun card, but this, as I'm so much water that I have a natural inclination, like when this shows up, then I know, right? Sun, my career house is in the sun, is in Leo. But I have to work for it. This is a natural easiness. And so, yes, the path, you're already on the path. You stay the course. You're already on the path. Wow. God, that's so moving. I love when tarot makes me cry. What a gift it is, eh? Coming, as all spiritual things have to come through mixed sources because of this universe the way it is, but you are already on the path. If it were in the reverse, yes, at one point it was in the reverse and you just didn't know that you were on it. But you were. I think because Scorpio knows so much. And this world does not like Scorpio. Well, let's face it, this world doesn't like anybody who's out to get healed and solve the secrets of evil. But because Scorpio comes in with that all-seeing eye, yeah, and the will to pursue evil, I think a lot of that is one thing that's put to Scorpio, is to pursue the knowledge of how the bad guys do what they do and who they are. Because if you don't know, then they've got you even before you're out of the gate, because which they have us before we're out of the gate anyway in this universe, and that's why you wouldn't know. But now you're getting there. And yeah, Aquarius, King of Swords, 11th house. But again, this stability, yeah, we go back to your 4th house, all of that, right? That instability, that imbalance, shall we say, the imbalance. Yes, emphasis on the imbalance. There could be a great deal of stability because of so much of, yeah, that tower. Yep, that tower, that huge Uranus cycle. There's the 2. Yep. With that King of Swords. Absolutely. So, there we go, Scorpio. That's a pretty big story. It's going to take a while. But the fact that we're at this point of having this articulated to us, to you, that's phenomenal. Okay, well done, Scorpio. I'll be back with a normal reading in a week or so. Yep. Well, as soon as I'm done, everybody else, which I'm taking my time because I'm getting through my beginning of drawing stuff, which is like an amazing amount of brain power required to do that. So much love and congratulations.